Hockey players, are you looking for the perfect place to perfect your shot? Well, Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary has you covered. Whether you're preparing for the big game or just want to have some fun, check them out. Overtime Hockey Lanes has something for everybody. 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. We got a lot of things to get to. And I encourage you, Rich Sutter, next time you're in Cowtown to check out Overtime Hockey Lanes. It's your kind of... Actually, you know what? I saw a video of you doing it this summer at some fair. I saw you shooting out targets at that thing now that I think about it.
I was knocking them out bullseye, baby.
You haven't lost it. You haven't lost it, buddy.
The Gordie Howe Alzheimer's tournament at Hamptons.
I love it. I love it. Rich, I don't know if you saw before the break, I said I got a question for you. We all think the Leafs, Oilers, Canucks, and Jets will make the playoffs. I'm sure you agree with that. Do we think one of the Flames, Sens, or Canadians will to make it 5?
Well, I hope so. I think we probably would look leaning more definitely towards one of the two teams out east. I think Ottawa's might be more fit to take that step forward. I just think the world of the coach there. So I think that, I hope that both of them are definitely in the running for sure with the Habs and the Sens. And at the end of the day, I just think the Sens are probably a little bit further ahead of them in that stage, and I hope that'll prove out.
Interesting you say that because they're the only of the three with a new coach. How long do you think it'll take for the Travis Green stamp to be on the Senators? Should we look at a date for that happening?
Well, I think the Travis communicates well, and he can be a bit of a hard ass, and I like some of that old school in him, but Travis is also very wise to the fact that you got to communicate with these guys. I know he spent the summer getting to know these guys individually and collectively, and kind of what starts to make them tick. He'll find out a lot more when he's actually on the ice with them during training camp and early practices. But I think they're going to be just fine. Biggest thing is he's going to stress how to play defense as well and how to be responsible. And if he can get guys to buy in, there's a wealth of talent and ability in size in that hockey club that can do some really good things.
The news of the day is Mitch Marner shutting down questions on the very first day of training camp. I will not address my contract going into the final year of his big deal. How do you feel about that, him doing that today, and where they go from here?
I agree with him. Look, there's been enough changes around that organization again this summer. They don't need any more distractions. I'm a huge Craig Berube fan as well, and he's not going to listen to that nonsense. And I'm glad that Mitch has tried to shut it down right off on the morning of day one. And we all know what the media is like in Toronto. Will they let that be? I find that hard. That they will. At some point, it'll always pop up. But look, I'm glad he brought it out himself and said, look, I'm here to play, here to focus individually and collectively as a group and get this thing off on the right foot. And I think he's done the right thing by doing what he said. I heard that earlier this morning as well. So good on Mitch.
Well, yes. But at the sake
you
of
don't
sounding No, I do. But at the sake of sounding like a Toronto media person, what does this mean? Because Stamkos last year at this time, with a year left, but Stamkos said, I want to talk about it. The team doesn't. And look where it ended. That hung over them all year. How is this different?
Well, I think as athletes and people that are running organizations, they're going to tell you just enough to make you think a little bit and leave it kind of in your crawl in terms that bothers you. You didn't get the answer you wanted. Now, where do I go from here? Do I press the envelope a little further on this individual? Don't need to think that there's conversation going on behind closed doors, because there always is, you guys. Whether it's in the hallway and Brad catches Mitch at the right time, or wherever he catches Tree at the right time, and the conversation just might pop up. But look, they're human beings. The hardest thing is to hold things in, especially to the media. As a person around a hockey club or a player is difficult to do. It's not always so difficult to do it when you're one-on-one with that individual. So rest assured, there has been conversation, and you know what? Good on them. Their goals, they want to. They're tired of listening to the nothing's been done since 1967, and they just want to get off on the right foot and give themselves an opportunity. They want to be known as a regular season hockey club. Craig Berube has got the ingredients and the knowledge and the know-how and the experience. And I feel this team is also in the right spot in terms of who they have there now, that this is a team that is going to prepare to play for the playoffs. And they're not going to be concerned about finishing in the top 2 or 3 in the conference. They're going to be concerned about, come April, they're playing the right kind of hockey that is probably going to be different than they played in the past to some degree. That's going to give them a much better opportunity to play and to win. And when you got the best centerman in the Eastern Conference as your captain now, leading the way, who is a very determined, talented individual, I like their chances.
I got a million questions for you because I haven't talked to you for a while. But before I lob those at you, what's on your mind as camps open today? What are the top topics?
Well, it's been a summer of change. You look around the league with the big contracts with some of these guys that signed, a lot of the player movements, the amount of money that was being spent. Not necessarily a new franchise, but a new city in Salt Lake with the group there that are going to hold no punches in terms of making it successful. I think Utah is on the cusp. They brought in some good veterans to help them through the next couple of years to let these kids continue to grow. There's a lot of good things going on. I have to bring up the Columbus situation. But what's going on there in the last 3 years is very hard to swallow as a guy that worked in the organization and still think very highly of a lot of people there. These are difficult times for that organization, but there's some great individuals in that locker room and some people upstairs as well. So it was Rick Nash and Donnie and the group, and I think that they're going to walk through a lot of tough days together. It's been a heavy heart of mine, to be honest with you on that. And I think that I really hope I want to see that team to really do well. And I think they will find a way. There will be some character building going on in that organization for the next few months. And I'll be very happy for them if they can achieve.
The reason I smiled about that is people, maybe they don't know, to see your old team struggle, that is a different kind of frustration. You were there.
It is.
You're not anymore. And you don't like to see it, right? And you don't know what to say.
I don't, Rod, but I'll tell you one thing. I care deeply about a lot of people there. I would give anything to go back and work there. Look, I left for the right reasons at the time. And there's, I care, look, I still have relationships with a good handful of these young players. And I still speak to them. I still speak to the people on staff there. And there's a lot of really good people that really want to right this ship. And I think they will get this figured out. I know that there's not many Blue Jacket fans in Western Canada, but I'll guarantee I'm probably one of the top ones just because of the people and then the hockey. It's always about people first. We're in a great sport where people care. There are some individuals that kind of try and be one of the bad apples in the barrel all the time. That's a given. But more often than not, you're always going to run across a lot of people. I know for a fact if I was in dire straits, Rod, I could pick up the phone and text a friend in Europe, or he could text me, and he knew, and we both know that we're here. We got you. What do you need? And that's just how we are. And I'm just happy that we're surrounding, or as a large group that we're in a situation like when Sydney came out the other day and said, look, we need to support the Goodrow families and their young widows and that knowing that we'll always be there if anything's needed. And that's really cool because you don't hear that in many other sports. But for Sydney to come out and say that, that's true. And it sucks. But at the end of the day, you know that those people, those families and those young, beautiful people are going to be protected, supported, and know that someone will always be there for them.
You know how it is. Be there for your people and forget about the rest that aren't your people. Rich, thanks. I could go on, but we're out of time. Hey, keep in touch. Let's get a phone call in.
Yeah, talk soon. Thanks.
13-year NHL veteran, member of hockey's first family, Rich Sutter.